Today I'm going to show you guys how I made this mango papaya foaming sugar scrub. This formula is Ecocert approved, meaning all the ingredients are approved to be used in organic formulations and they're accepted in the natural community. What I love about this scrub is that it's not too thick, but it's also not thin. It's thick enough that you can have multiple colors and they won't blend together, but it's still really easy to spread this scrub on the skin. I will have all the ingredients and equipment I used in this video linked in the description box. Also, if you guys aren't familiar with formulas as you see up on the screen, please go watch my Formulating for Beginners series and it'll teach you everything you need to know about formulating if you're a beginner. I'll link that down below. If you guys are new here, hi, hello, my name's Tara. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. I make videos sharing unique skincare formulas and videos about owning your own skincare business. All right, so let's start making the scrub already. We're gonna start with phase A and I'm making a 600 gram batch. So I'm going to start out with 26.4 grams of distilled water in a heat-safe container. This is all you need for phase A. What you want to do is tare your scale and weigh it again. This is including the weight of the beaker, and write down how much it weighs because we're going to be heating this up and some of the water will evaporate. So we'll have to weigh this again after we heat it and add back in water to get it back to its original weight. Hope that makes sense. So set that to the side and now we're going to work on phase B. So phase B is your surfactants and glycerin, and I'm going to start with cocamidopropyl betaine. I'm using 72 grams. And then I'm going to be adding in 36 grams of glycerin next. Glycerin is a humectant. It will help hydrate the skin. And then this next ingredient is called sodium cocoyl isothianate. I'm using 12 grams. And you want to make sure you're wearing a respirator when working with this. I will link down below to where you can buy one. It's super, super important when working with this. Now, when you mix everything together, you want to be really gentle, not to make the powder get airborne or anything, because I'm telling you, you don't want to breathe this stuff in. But once you get the SCI powder mixed in with everything else, you can take off your respirator. You could also buy SCI powder in noodle form, and that would be a lot easier to work with. And then you won't have to worry about the respirator. Anyways, we're going to move on to phase C. This is going to include all of our oil-soluble ingredients, and I'm starting with 24 grams of Retamulse SCG. This is an Ecocert approved emulsifier. It's approved in the natural community, and this helps blend oil and water together. And then I'm going to be using 18 grams of stearic acid. This is also approved in organic formulations and the natural community. All these ingredients are. And this is what's going to help harden the scrub. It's going to give it some structure. And then this ingredient is papaya oil. I'm using 24 grams of it, but you can use any plant oil you want. Doesn't matter. As long as you like that oil, you can use it in here. I'm using papaya to kind of suit that papaya mango theme I got going on. But this is a pretty expensive oil, so I kind of want to recommend it for body scrubs. And then I'm going to add in 12 grams of mango butter, and this fits the mango papaya theme perfect, so that's why I decided to use it. But you can use shea butter or cocoa butter. Harder butters like cocoa butter will make the scrub harder, obviously, so that's up to you, but any butter will work fine. And we're done with phase C, and we're going to go ahead and heat up phase A, B, and C. I take a pan and fill it with like an inch or so of water, just depends on how big your containers are, and I place them in the pans to help heat them up. These are called water baths. And you want to come back and mix phase B periodically to help mix the SCI powder in and make sure it all dissolves. And we're going to be heating these up until everything in phase C is melted, and then all the phases are like kind of around the same temperature. They don't need to be exact, just somewhat around the same temperature. So now I'm going to go ahead and weigh phase A again because it's all heated and everything's melted and stuff. And I'm going to replace any water that evaporated, and quite a bit evaporated because I had these heating for a while because I was busy and I forgot about them. So I had a lot of water to replace. Anyways, I'm going to start by pouring phase A into C. So that's the water into the oil-soluble ingredients. So I'm kind of doing like an emulsion here, but I'm just going to mix it with my whisk. That's enough. You don't need to use like an immersion blender or anything. And then I'm going to go ahead and add in phase B. This is the surfactants and the glycerin. Yeah, this is just how it looks at this phase. Yours might look clear, that's possible, but you just want to make sure the SCI powder is just all dissolved. And just pour it in, and I just hand mixed it again with a whisk. I don't think you'll need a whisk. I think really anything just would work, even a spoon. You just gotta mix it. And I'm just going to let it cool to room temperature. All right, here it's around room temperature and you can see it has thickened up a lot more. So now I'm going to add in phase D, which is the cool down ingredients, and I'm starting with Tri-State Eco. I'm using 9.6 grams of it, and this is an Ecocert approved preservative. So again, okay to use in organic and natural products. This does kind of have an almond scent to it. It didn't come through in the final product, but it is something to keep in mind. But I like the scent of almond, so I like this preservative. But Ecocert approved preservatives are harder to work with, and I don't trust them as much like when it comes to like selling products. So I don't really recommend them if you're selling products. I have a blog post on Patreon all about Ecocert approved preservatives if you want to learn more. And I just mix that in. And I did pull out the electric hand mixer, but it was kind of just messy. You don't really need it. It just made a mess. So now I'm going to go ahead and add in 360 grams of sugar. And I just like to add in like 100 grams at a time and then mix in between. And yeah, again, the hand mixer just made a mess, so don't use it. And this is just basic white granulated sugar you make cake and brownies and cookies, and I'm getting hungry, just any of that stuff with. All right, this is the time I'm going to pull out the spatula. Spatulas make mixing these things a lot easier. I finally invested in a bunch of spatulas. A link down below to the spatulas I bought. I'll actually link instead to my Amazon storefront so you guys can shop on there and buy a bunch of stuff, because I have an Amazon storefront and I just link to everything I buy from Amazon on there, and it's so much easier to shop from that. So I'm going to link to that instead. The spatulas are on there. It's under formulating equipment. But anyways, now I'm going to add in 6 grams of my mango papaya fragrance oil. I'll link down below to where I bought this. It's from naturesgarden.com. And I divided my scrub up into 2 different bowls for some reason. I should have just went ahead and kept them together at this time. But for some reason I separated them sooner than I should have, because they're both getting the same fragrance oils. So there was no need to separate them until I colored them. So anyways, at this time, you will want to separate both of your scrubs and add in your coloring. I'm using these ethically sourced mica powders from madmica.com. I'll link to those down below. And one is going to be yellow and the other one is going to be orange, mango papaya themed. I think you guys are picking up what I'm throwing down, right? And the mica powder just mixed in super easily. Sometimes it's easier to mix mica powder with glycerin first to get it to mix in, but you don't need to do that with the scrub. But what I'm going to do is let these sit overnight, because I always like to let my scrubs sit overnight. I actually let most products sit overnight just to see how they change. But they were basically the same consistency the next day. They're super easy to work with. They're super easy to scoop, and they kind of just like bloop down. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like they keep their shape, but they'll eventually just like flatten. I don't know. And enjoy this footage here of me scooping the scrub so you guys can kind of like get your own idea of the consistency. The way it like smooths out here is like phenomenal. I haven't had a scrub like work like that. And I love how this scrub kind of like cleans out of the bowl super easily. I just really enjoy the consistency of the scrub because it kind of reminds me of slime without being like sticky or anything. But yeah, it just like scoops out of the bowl so clean like. I don't know. I really like it. And when it comes to packaging, I use these 8-ounce plastic jars. You can buy them on Amazon. I'll link to them. And I just layered the colors, and I think I did 2 scoops of orange, then 2 scoops of yellow. And then I regretted it because I thought it was too much orange on the bottom. So the next one I did yellow and then orange and then yellow and then yellow, because then I ran out of orange and I had more yellow than orange because I didn't divide them up evenly. But yeah, that's how they look. I hope you guys really like them. And yeah, here's a shot of me using them in the shower, which is always a pain to record. But again, I just love this consistency. Isn't it so pretty? And it really does glide on the skin super, super easily. I just feel like I always do a horrible job at recording this. I just feel like one day I'm just going to drop my camera in the shower and it's going to break and it'll get water damaged. I'm probably going to jinx myself now. But you want to make sure your skin's damp, massage it on, exfoliate your skin, and then get it wet again, of course, to activate kind of that like milky lather. It's not really foamy and bubbly. If you want to scrub that like bubbles up really well, check out my Neapolitan scrub I just posted. That like bubbles. This is more of like a milky type of lather. But yeah, that is it for today's formula. Let me know what other scrubs you guys would like to see. I have so many formulas of scrubs that I have planned to show you. So definitely look out for those. Hit the notification bell. Leave me a comment. Show me some love. You guys are all amazing. TTYL.
so